Manchester City and Celtic fans, take note over the next few minutes as we talk La Liga. Real Madrid travel to Glasgow for their opening Champions League group game, while City take on Sevilla. And to discuss it all, let's speak to La Liga TV presenter Semra Hunter. Semra, good morning.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Now, Real face Celtic. What are you expecting from this game? Is there any weaknesses for Celtic to exploit?
To be honest with you, I haven't really seen any weaknesses from Real Madrid as of yet. They look really, really good and really solid. They've taken 4 wins from 4. They're the only team to do so in La Liga so far. On top of that, they've already picked up a new piece of silverware at the start of the campaign. So really, it's 5 from 5. And they just look like they're very, very difficult to beat, to be quite honest with you. And Ancelotti seems to have always some kind of plan B, plan C up his sleeve. If something is not working in the game, he knows how to change it. He's really good at reading the in-game situation. And his changes in the last couple of games, the substitutions, have been spot on in terms of swaying the result in the favour in Real Madrid's way. Everyone looks pretty sharp. The only one, maybe the slightest of weaknesses I could mention, if you can even mention it as a weakness, is that Karim Benzema in the last 2 games slightly looks off. But having said that, he still scored a brace the other day. So I think it's going to be very difficult to find a way to maybe get through this Real Madrid side because, like I say, from top to bottom, they're scoring goals. They're keeping clean sheets as well. They're making it very difficult for opponents to find any cracks in their armour. And they've just been sensational. So it's going to be a very tough game for Celtic, even though they'll be playing at home.
Yeah, and Real Madrid, 4 wins from 4 in the league, as you've said, and that's without Casemiro. They've adapted well without him.
They've done exceptionally well. It was really interesting in the summer. They did their business nice and early. They brought in Aurélien Tchouaméni from Monaco. They spent about 80 million on him. And the idea is that progressively over the next couple of years, they would ease him into that position as they transitioned Casemiro out. But obviously that hasn't happened. He's had to hit the ground running and be thrown straight into the deep end with Casemiro deciding to leave. And he's done an exceptional job over the last few games. I think the first ones he was a little bit nervous, which is totally understandable. But he's been shaking off those nerves. He's been growing in confidence, and he's really been making the role his, and even offering up something a little bit different to Casemiro that we would used to see from him in the last few years. He's been really great with his passing. I think he completed about 90% of his passes the other night. On top of that, he had 4 interceptions, 7 ball recoveries. He's been providing assists. He even had a crack at goal himself. It ended up hitting the post, but he was very close to finding the back of the net in his debut at the Santiago Bernabeu in front of his new home crowd. And he even picked up the MVP awards against Real Betis. So he's really been nicely settling into that role. And again, he can offer something a bit more box to box. He can be a bit more adventurous, go forward, offer something else in that final third, which was something we saw not too often from Casemiro. But defensively, he's been brilliant as well, which is exactly what Real Madrid have needed.
Let's talk Barcelona next. Robin Lewandowski already scored 5 La Liga goals. How has he settled into Spain?
Well, I think you kind of already hinted at it yourself. 5 goals in 4 games. You settled in brilliantly. And it's exactly what I think every Barcelona fan was hoping to see, especially Xavi. Xavi is just raving about him on and on and on about everything that he brings to this team. And it's not just the goals, it's everything else. It's the experience, it's the championship mentality, it's what he does on the ball, it's what he does off the ball, it's the leadership, it's just the natural quality that he oozes and that he can offer to everybody else. And he just raises everyone's game around him. He's been working brilliantly alongside Dembélé and Rafinha, who have been so fast, by the way. They're very difficult to stop in these last few games. They've been providing assists and goals themselves. And he just has so much service coming from anywhere, really, from the midfield, whether it's Pedri, from Gavi, from those 2 on the flanks, whether it's Ansu Fati coming in as well. So he's really been enjoying his football, and you can just see it in his face. You can see it in his body language. He's just all smiles all the time because he just knows he's going to get his opportunity. And when he does get his opportunity, he's not going to miss. He's the top scorer in La Liga right now, level with Iago Aspas, who's also had a sensational start to the campaign. And I can only imagine that we'll expect to see even more goals from Robert Lewandowski, whether it's in La Liga, whether it's in the Champions League or in the Cup or anything else. He's on fire at the moment, and long may it continue.
And they beat Sevilla, who Manchester City play in the Champions League tomorrow. What can City expect from them?
City can expect all kinds of weaknesses. Unfortunately for Sevilla, they've had a terrible start to the campaign. In fact, it's been the worst start ever in club history, equal with only one other time that happened, I think, about 40 years ago. They've only picked up 1 point. They've only scored 3 goals. They've conceded 8. And the reason why that's important is that last season, Sevilla boasted the best defensive record. Hardly anybody